Today, we're going to have our presenters share with you very quickly some thoughts regarding those three topics we mentioned in the title: revisiting theory, recurring praxis, transforming communities.
Master's course, Literacy is centered in second languages, which is still an explored field here, not only in Colombia, but also around the world. We have been navigating through this topic in the ELSLP project.
I found in multimodality the inspiration to represent stories in a way that children will understand much more easily while using modes. I call it multimodal storytelling. Multimodal storytelling because a closer way to interact with the story, making it comprehensible. Then I open spaces for critical literacy so my students enjoy meaningful experience for language learning.
Well, we are analyzing critical digital literacies with English pre-service English teachers, and we had the possibility of exploring how this field could transform and could go deeper in order to understand our
I
words.
want my students understand English as part of their life, so I start looking for strategies that help me to find a real purpose that my students understood, like a connection between English and their lives.
In the master's program, I share with my students what literacy means beyond that part of reading and writing as compartmentalized skills. We go beyond that conception and we take what the street calls literacy as a social practice. And we also have the opportunity to analyze different topics around new literacies, multiliteracies, multimodality, critical literacies, and 21st century literacies, what allows the students to recognize them inside their own practices.
In my case, I involve multimodality in my teaching practice, not just with ESL preschoolers, but also with ESL teenagers to engage them with multimodal storytelling and multimodal compositions in order to use English language in a broader way.
Well, we are using language classrooms as freedom scenarios for our students bring, create, and reshape podcast in order to talk about themselves in their own context.
In my classroom, affinity spaces and multimodal tests come together in order to invite my students to find that reason and to invite them to have different roles during the English practices.
My students are in service teachers, and through the course, they have the opportunity to read different types of tests, especially studies that can help them also analyze their own settings. And at the end, they can have some analysis where they find that literacy is present in each of their settings, and they explore their own literacy practices, what we call personal literacy practices, which they put into the service of their own students.
In my community, I elicit to understand that English, as any other language, allows children to read and write the word. Also, to recognize that students are language users, not just language recipients. Elicit children to explore what they can do with their language, multimodal compositions, and promoting social justice. And to connect literacy and multimodality with students' internal beings as a natural way to express themselves.
Well, in my case, I am transforming my students in active consumer and critical producers of information. Also, they are using their podcast for questioning their context and spreading their realities. And they are showing another story that the traditional media doesn't show about their real lives.
My students and I took the concepts of gay, black, and landmarks in order to promoting in order to promoting the idea of using language can have different reasons and purposes. And during this project, we understood that there are many and multiple narratives and stories that we can talk about through English. It was the affinity spaces was the special place where they had different roles, different tasks, and different learnings.